so this time around, we'll be working on the 2016 paper, right? So this paper actually introduces a few new things, specifically the creating of styles and actually saving them before using them, as well as the relational database in the data manipulation chapter. So you need to create two tables and actually link them both together, right? So let's go on and look at question task 1 actually. Now before starting, you will notice that it says, right, for reports following paragraph styles must be used with only the attributes specified in the house style specification sheet. So basically all these things you are able to create beforehand and actually apply to the document. So we'll get to that later. Okay, so let's get started with task 1 first. So open the file s16 evidence.rtf. Very simple. This is evidence, right? So it says, make sure that your name, center number, and candidate number will appear on every page of your evidence document, putting these details in the header of the document. So same thing here, just double click here, and then put in your name, center number, and candidate number. So name, center number, and candidate number, right? Moving on. Save your evidence document in your work area as evidence followed by your candidate number, for example, evidence 999, right? So, file, save as. I'm going to save it here, and I'm going to save it as Word. So, evidence 6969. So, I'm going to save it. Alright? So, you will need your evidence document during the examination to play your screenshots in when required. So throughout the paper 2, whenever the question asks you to do any screenshots or capture evidence and all that, you just need to paste it into this document that you just edited, right? So you are going to edit a document about the development of a new port. Okay, number 1, using a suitable software package, load the file x16port.rtf. So x16port. Right, so what I'm going to do is once I open this, I'm just going to save it as a Word document. Okay, we've spoken about this a few times when in the previous videos. Saving it in Word document has more advantages because the file size is smaller and the formatting is more precise. Okay, if you save it in RTF, sometimes your file will actually balloon to like 13 megabytes. Okay, and over the network, it's gonna perhaps pose some issues to you because there may be crashes and formatting issues as well. So I'm just going to select Word document, right? And I'm going to save it first. It doesn't matter whether the question asks me to change the file name or not, right? So next question, set the page size to A4 and set the page orientation to portrait. So I'm going to set the page size, so page layout size, to save it as A4 and the orientation to portrait. Okay, so set all margins to 2 cm. So I'm going to set all the margins here. So custom margin 2 cm, 2 cm, 2 cm, and 2 cm. Right. So place screenshot evidence of page size and margin settings in your evidence document. So there are a few ways to do this. Some of you may just click here. Sorry, margin, right? So custom margins. Take a screenshot of this, so print screen. I'm going to paste it here. So this is the margin, and then followed by page size. So page size. So size A4. Or you guys can actually come here, custom margin, and then just switch over to paper. It shows A4 as well. So both of it will work. Print screen. And then I go here and I'm going to paste it in. Alright, now So enter in the header your name and candidate number left align. So going back here, your name and candidate number left align. Your center number right align. So I'll just move this margin over a little bit. Center number MY422. Right, moving on. Enter in the footer the automated file name left align, today's date right align. Right, so footer. Scroll down here. Automated file name, right? So quick parts. Field. File name. I'm not going to tick add path to file name because if I check this box, it's actually going to add the path, right? Now, if the question requires you to do so, please check this box. But for this question, we're not going to. So X16 port, S16 port, and then today's date right align. So today's date right align. So we're going to tab, go here, date and time, today's date. There you go. So make sure that all alignments match the page margins. Make sure that the headers and footers are displayed on each page, right? So everything is within the margins here, as well as here. Everything seems good. I'm going to save it first. Right, moving on to the next question. So create or edit these paragraph styles to be applied to the text in the document. Refer to the house style specification sheet for details of these styles. So basically the question wants you to create different styles. Number one called title, subtitle, subheading, and body text. And the style has to actually match the styles here. Okay, so how do you do that? So in my Word document, I'm just going to click this teeny little button there, this one, right? And I'm going to say create a new style. So the first style, I'm going to name it as title, right? And then I'm going to click modify. All right. So I'll just call it HS title. Okay, because I don't want to change any of the things here. So I'm going to call it HS title. We'll modify it. So sans serif font. Arial. Okay. 24 points and center align, right? So 24 points, alignment, center. I'm going to click OK. Notice that there's a new one called HS style here. HS title, my bad. Right, the next one would be subtitle. Same thing. So create a new style again. So create style. So HS subtitle. Going to modify it. Again, sans serif. And then this time, 18 points, italic, underline, and right align. Points, italic, underlined, right align. You click OK. So I have another one called HS subtitle. Then subheading. Again, I'm going to create a new style here. Oops. HS subheading. I'm going to modify it. Sans serif, 12 points, single line spacing. 12 points, single line spacing. Now, you don't see it here, but it's actually here. Right, I'm going to go to paragraph, and then line spacing is single. Alright, and with one clear line space after a subheading. So I'm going to left align it, didn't say. And then one clear line spacing, right? So I'm just going to put 12. 12 is pretty obvious. Okay. Moving on, body text. I'm going to put a new style again. HS body text. I'm going to modify it. And then serif, 10 points, 1.5 line spacing. So 10 points, right? So 10 points. Right, line spacing, I'm just going to go here again, paragraph, line spacing. 1.5, fully justified. 1.5, fully justified, and with one clear line space after each paragraph. So one clear line space after each paragraph. So I'm just going to put 12. All right. So I have actually a few new styles here. So anything that starts with a HS, I have just created HS this, HS this, and HS this. Okay, moving on. So we were at question 4. We've done this already. So show evidence of the details of your definition of the body text paragraph style in your evidence document, right? So I'm just going to go back here, body text, right? I'm going to modify it, and then I'm going to show the paragraph style. So I'm going to go to format, go to paragraph. So this one actually shows my body text's paragraph style. So I'm going to take a screenshot. For you guys, it's print screen, and then I'm going to put it into my evidence document. So screenshot of body text style definition. So I'm going to paste it. So done. Number 5, insert a blank line at the start of the document and enter the title, dot facilities at Port Pepper. So dock facilities at Port Pepper. So apply the title style to this text. So let's highlight this. I'm going to apply the title style. Followed by apply the style, below the title, add the subtitle, report by, and add your name, right? So report by, and add your name. Apply the subtitle style to this text. We'll highlight this, subtitle. So after the subtitle, format the rest of the document as body text into 2 equally spaced columns with a 1 centimeter gap. So after the subtitle, which means everything after the subtitle here, we're going to format it into 2 columns with a 1 centimeter gap in between. So page layout, column, more columns, 2 columns with a 1 centimeter gap, right? There you go. So we are now at question number 10. It says apply the body text style to the rest of the document. So what's going to happen is I'm going to highlight the rest of the document here, and then I'm going to apply HS body text style to it. Okay. Now you'll notice that sometimes the styles, the paragraph styles, although they change, you will notice that the font size doesn't. So I'm just going to key in 10 here. Remove the italic and underline to make sure that it actually follows the house style that was set just now. Okay. So in the left column, before the first paragraph of the document, enter the subheading, a major regional port, right? So here, a major regional port. And then it says, identify all the subheadings in the document and apply the subheading style to each one. So this one, subheading. This one is also a subheading. This as well. All right. So find the table S16 export.rtf and insert it at the end of the document. So S16 export. Right. So I'm just going to copy this table. Copy. And it says insert it at the end of the document. So I'm going to scroll all the way to the end here. Oh, I left a few out. Subheading. And subheading. Right, there you go. So at the end of the document. So So I'm going to select use destination style because I want the style to actually follow my current format. Okay. Then it says, make sure that the table fits within the column width. Apply the body text style to the text in the paragraph. So just going to highlight the entire table and say body text. So remove the italic and underline too. Okay, merge the cell in the top row of the table across the 5 columns. So we're going to highlight the top row, right click, merge cells. So format only this row to be center aligned and underlined. So center aligned and underlined. Apply light gray shading, 20 to 40% shading to only the top row, top 2 rows of the table. So top 2 rows, light gray shading, around 25% because it says 20 to 40%. And set all borders of the table to be visible when printed. Alright, so 18, import the image S16 ship.jpg, JPG. So I'm going to import and place it on the first page below the subheading. So first page below the subheading. So insert picture. So make this 3 cm and maintain its aspect ratio. So double click on it, the height 3 cm. So align with the top of the paragraph, align to the left margin, make sure that the text wraps around the image. So wrap text, I'm going to select square. It should look like this. So use the information in the table to that you place in your document to produce a bar chart showing the actual exports compared to the planned export volumes. You may need to take data into another package to produce a report. Now this means that you need to copy this table, the data here, to Excel and actually generate a chart out from there. Oh, there you go. And then you're going to paste the data here. So from the data here, you're going to create a vertical bar chart. Basically, it's a column chart. It basically means the same thing. Okay, so what's going to happen is I'm going to select all the data here. I'm going to insert, and I'm going to select column chart. Okay, but now if you look at the data here, the category axis should be displayed as 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010. Okay, so we need to be able to identify these issues and actually modify them. So I'm going to go to select data, and then the horizontal category axis labels, I'm going to change them. Instead of 1, 2, 3, and 4, I'm going to change it to 2007, 2008, 2009, and 2010. So I'm going to edit, and I'm going to highlight this 4. I'm going to click OK. So notice that the category axis actually changes. Now, if you look at the data here, there's still some issues. Now, if you notice, year is actually included in the values as well, which shouldn't be the case. Okay? So what's going to happen is I'm going to select year here and I'm going to remove it. Then I'm going to click OK. Okay, now this chart makes more sense. Now moving on, label the chart with the title car export volumes. So I'm going to select the chart. I'm going to go to design, title. What's the name of it again? Car export volumes. I'm just going to copy and paste. Oh crap. Car export volumes. So car export volumes. Then categories, series labels displayed in full. So basically it wants to show the data labels. So data labels, I'm just going to select, say, center. And then axis title as number of cars and year. So this should be year, this should be number of cars, right? So horizontal should be here, and then this one should be number of cars. So vertical number of cars. So place the chart at the end of the document after the table, resize the chart to fill the column width and keep the aspect ratio. So I'm just going to copy this chart because it wants it to be placed in the document at the end after the table, which is here. So I'm going to resize it. So resize the chart to fill the column width and keep the aspect ratio. Moving on to the next question. Spell check and proofread the document. Place page breaks if necessary to ensure that tables do not overlap two columns or pages. There are no widows and orphans. This has already been handled. There are no blank pages. So I'm going to spell check the document. So I'm done with this. I can close it. I don't need to save it. So I'm going to spell check the document. So I'm going to go to review and I'm going to go to spelling and grammar. So obviously I don't need to rename this. Okay, so I'm going to ignore it. Then ignore it again, ignore it, ignore it, ignore. So just go through the whole thing to make sure that there are no grammatical errors or anything like that. Okay, so there isn't anything, and I don't need to insert any page breaks because everything fits within the columns and margins, and I also don't have any blank pages, so this looks good. So save and print your document. So I'm just going to save it, which I've already done. I'm just going to save it again, and then I'm going to go to print. Okay. So make sure that during your IGCSE ICT practical examination, please print out all the documents that you have created. All right, and follow what the question says. If it asks you to print it out immediately. Right. So we are done with section 1. Right, so we are now in the second section, task number 3. It says you are now going to prepare some reports for the company. Make sure all currency values are in euros to 2 decimal places. Using a suitable database package, import the file as 16cars.csv. So I'm going to open Access, Microsoft Access. And then before I do anything, I'm just going to create a blank desktop database and save it into the folder that I was working on previously. I'm just going to call it DB. Create. Okay, now let's look at the first question. I'm going to import the file as 16cars.csv. Right, so external data, text file, browse, cars, right? So I'm going to click OK, click Next. First row contain field names. I'm going to click Next. I'm going to go to Advanced to make sure that the data types here match the data types here. So text, currency, text, text. Here should be text. Cost price should be currency. Then text, boolean or logical. So text. This one should be yes, no. I'm going to click next, and then now previously you don't really need to select a primary key, but in the 2016 syllabus you actually need to define primary keys. So set the VIN field or the vehicle identification number field as the key field. So I'm going to choose my own primary key and I'm going to select VIN as the key field, okay, as per the question. So I'm going to click finish. I'm going to close it. Okay, so I have my table here already. Now you notice that the cost price is already in euro, but if you need to make sure, please go to design view, right? Go to cost price here, and for your format, you can actually select euros. Oh crap, my one is in pound, so I'm going to select euro, and decimal place, I'm going to select 2 decimal place. Okay, so I'm going to close the table and open it again. Yay, euros. Okay, next question. So import the file s16distributors.csv as a new table in your database. Set the distributor code as the key field. Again, you need to set the distributor code as the primary key field. So go to external data, text file, I'm going to import the next one, distributors. First row contain field names. I'm going to go to advanced, and I'm going to make sure that right. So choose my own primary key. The what was it? Set the distributor code field as the key field, right? So distributor code field as the key field, primary key, and I'm going to finish. So I have two tables here, distributors as well as cars that I've just imported. Okay. Now take screenshot evidence showing the field names and data types used in the two tables. Insert these screenshots in your evidence document. So I'm going to go to the first one, right-click Design View to show the field names as well as data types. So I'm going to take a screenshot of this. Go to my evidence document. Right, this is the distributors table. Paste it here. And then the cars table. Design view, I'm going to print screen. Right now, 25, create a one-to-many relationship as a link between the distributor code field in the distributor table and the distributor field in the cars table. Okay, so I'm going to close all the tables here because I need to create a link, and if you don't close them, Access is going to ask you to close them anyway. So I'm going to close them. I'm going to database tools. I go to relationship, and I'm going to double click cars and double click distributor. So the question actually says that you need to link the distributor code here from the distributor table to the distributor here in the S16 cars table. So I'm just going to click here, drag it, and then let go. So I'm going to enforce referential integrity, and I'm going to create it. So there's a relationship between the distributors table as well as the cars table. So take screenshot evidence showing the relationship between the two tables. Insert a copy of the screenshot in your evidence document. So I'm going to print screen this again. And relationship. Paste. Save it. So insert these three new records into the S16 cars table. Guys, please go ahead and do it. So how you're supposed to do it is to enter the to open S16 cars, and then click on this, which shows new blank record, and then start entering. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to copy and paste one record. Micro Z. D. 11,000 blue to FMDSA, and then no. Alright, now if you look here, you will notice that there are actually negative ones and zeros. Negative one, it actually represents a yes, zero represents a no. So once you finish keying in one record, just press enter and then continue keying in the other two records. I'm not going to do it because I'm lazy. Alright, so let's move on to question 27. Right, so moving on to the next question, it says produce a report which contains a new field called delivery price, which is calculated at runtime. This field will calculate the cost price of the car plus a standard delivery charge of 200 euros. Now looking at the questions like these, especially when it comes to relational database questions, the difference here is that the questions would usually ask you to select data from two different tables. So when that happens, it is best to actually select all the data from both tables during the query creation process. Okay, so what's going to happen is similar to what we did in the flat file databases. We're going to select all the data. Doesn't matter whether the data needs to be displayed or not. Okay, so I'm just going to select either one of the tables. I'm going to create, and I'm going to select Query Wizard. I'm going to click OK. Then I'm going to move all the data over. I'm going to switch over to distributors. I'm going to move all the data as well. Okay. So I'm going to modify the query design. Okay, so a few things you'll see here is that you'll notice that there's a link here between the S16 distributors as well as the S16 cars table. So the distributor here is the primary key, and the distributor code here is the primary key, and the S16 cars distributor code here is called the foreign key. So this actually creates a relationship between these two tables. Okay. So contains a new field called delivered price, which is calculated at runtime. This field will calculate the cost price of the car plus a standard delivery charge of 200 euros. So I'm going to scroll all the way to the end here to create a new, what do you call that? A new calculated field. All right. So I'm going to insert a new column. Okay. And then I'm going to do my calculation here. All right. So delivered price equals to the cost price plus 200. Okay, so delivered price, there you go. Okay, so the reason why delivered price does not have any square brackets is because it is a new field, it's a calculated field. Cost price, on the other hand, has square brackets because it is already an existing field. How do I know that? Let's go all the way to the front. I can see cost price here. Okay, so I'm going to scroll all the way to the back. I'm going to save it. I'm going to run. Okay, so if you scroll all the way to the end here, you will see the new delivery price calculated here. Okay, so I'm going to go back to design view, and then I'm going to answer the next question. So shows only the records where the country is France. So I need to put the France as the criteria for the country, as well as where the cars have not been dispatched, right? So dispatch, no. Now if you look at the question properly, you will notice that both criteria actually are placed in two different tables. So the first one is placed in the distributors table. The second one is placed in the S16 cars table. Okay, so that is the difference when you are working on relational databases. So I'm going to run, and you will notice that the records are actually reduced to 41 records. Okay, so from here we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to select the query, I'm going to create, and then I'm going to select report wizard. All right, so shows only the fields VIN, model, power, engine size. So VIN, model, power, engine size, cost price, color, port, color, and then scroll all the way down here, port, distributor, and delivered price. So distributor and delivered price. Click next. Didn't need any sorting to be done here or any grouping, so I'm just going to click next. No grouping. Let's check whether it needs the data to be sorted out, right? Sorts the data into ascending order of VIN. So VIN ascending order, next. Orientation of landscape, next, and let's modify the report. Okay, so calculates the total number of cars in this selection and places it at the bottom of the report. So I'm just going to right click on VIN, total, and I'm going to say count records. So how many records are appearing in this report. And then has a label to the left to this number, total cars for France. I'm just going to copy it, move this over, and I put in a label because it wants indication here. Includes the heading dispatch manifest port rest at the top of the page. So I'm going to change this. And then has your name, center number, and candidate number on left in the footer. So left in the page footer, because you want it to appear on every printed page. Okay, so put your page, your center number, candidate number, name, center number, and candidate number in the left of the footer, right? So again, label, name, center number, candidate number. Save it. Let's preview the report. Right, so if you look here, the cost price and delivered price are partially hidden with hashtags because the field is not large enough to hold the data. So we need to do some manual resizing here. So I'm going to go back to design view. I'm going to shrink the engine size a little bit. I'm going to resize the cost price more, make it larger. Okay, so let's go to print preview again. Alright, cost price is done, and then what's left is the delivered price. So we're going to go back to design view, go to distributor, shrink cells a little bit, and then resize the delivered price field. Okay, let's see. Alright, nice. Next page. Okay. So save and print your report. So you just need to save it and then print it. We're going on to the next question, 28. It says that you're going to prepare labels for the company. So labels are the same as reports. In order for you to produce a report, you need to create queries first. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing here. Okay, I'm not going to make use of the current query, so I'm going to close it. You're going to create new queries, a new query. Okay, again, I'm going to go to create query wizard. Make sure that I select all data from two tables. I don't care whether it needs to be displayed or not. So I'm just going to select everything here, swap over to distributors, and then I'm going to move everything over. Okay, then I'm going to modify the query design. So only include cars which have not been dispatched. So for dispatch, I'm going to say no. And then includes only the records where VIN begins with 37. So begins with 37, I'm going to say 37 asterisk. Okay, this means that 37 followed by any number. So that asterisk is actually a wildcard. Okay, so when I press enter, it's going to say like 37 star or asterisk. Okay, that's fine. Moving on, the country field is Spain, so I'm going to look for country. Spain, Español. Followed by the power field is E. So power field is E. Okay, so let's preview the data. Let's run it and see. Okay, so you extract 8 records from here in the query. So I'm going to save it a few times. Again, access is crazy as it is. I'm going to create. Now instead of selecting report wizard, I'm going to select labels instead. So I'm going to select labels. It says arrange in 2 columns, so I'm going to select 2 columns. Next. Nothing was mentioned about the font name, the font size and all that. I'm going to just click next, and then it wants it to be displayed field names as well as the data, right? So VIN, this is for the field name, and then I'm double clicking to make sure the data comes over. VIN, model, port and distributor. So model, I'm going to double click. Oh crap. And then port, and then distributor. Move it over. I click next. Any sorting that needs to be done? No. I'm going to click next, and then I'm going to modify the label design. Okay. So it says that it needs, in a larger font at the top of each label, include the heading, warning, check, charge voltage before delivery. So I'm just going to copy this. Now it says on each label, I'm going to put it inside detail instead of page header, because if I put it in page header, it's only going to appear at the top of the page. Okay, so I'm going to put in a label here. I'm going to type the text in. It says it wants a larger font. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to go to home, larger font, 14 maybe. You say it needs to be bold though. I'll just bold it. Okay, so I'm going to go back to design, and then includes your name, center number, candidate number at the bottom of each label as well. So each label, it means I need to put it inside the detail. Okay, so resize this a little bit so I don't waste any space. Okay, so include your name, center number, the page layout. The page layout may look like this. So I'm going to go to print preview. Okay, so everything looks fine. So once I'm done, I just need to click print. If you guys want to move this over a little bit so that it looks more tidy and neat, go ahead. Right, so we're done with data manipulation. Right, so on to the mail merging portion. Okay, it says that the European importer of the car, Star Cars, wishes to write to some of the distributors. Prepare a mail merge letter using the file s16mail.rtf as your master and the s16 distributors .csv file as a source data. Right, so I'm going to open the s16 mail first. Right, then I'm going to mailings. And I'm going to select recipients here. Okay, and then I'm going to select use existing list. Okay, why? Is because it says and the s16 distributors.csv file as a source data, right? Right, so I'm going to select recipients, use existing list here. I'm going to navigate back to the folder. And then I'm going to select distributors. Right, notice the stuff here actually lights up, address block, greeting line, insert, merge field and all that, because I have data to actually put into the document. Alright, so let's move on and see. So you will need to insert relevant fields from your data source to replace text in the master document. Alright, so it's very simple. If you see insert merge fields here, you see all the fields that you can insert. Okay, distributor code, contact name and all that. So what you need to do is you just need to replace the first name here with the correct one, which is first name. Right, and then after that, contact name, and then the address, then the city, the region, okay, today's date, if I want to, field, date, time, okay, and then first name again, add your name as the originator of the letter, director. Okay, so your name, include your center number and candidate number as the reference for the letter. So center number and then candidate number. Proofread and spell check the letter. Now it's very apparent that this is wrong, so I'm just going to right click on it and then distribution. I'm just going to change it. Okay, so print your master document with the fields displayed. So I just go to file, print. Alright, just to make sure that everything is displayed here. Alright, so how you identify whether this is your document, it's by your name, center number and candidate number here. Right, so moving on. Add a minimum of 3 features to the mail merge master document to suit a professional letter with reference to house style specification sheet. Okay, so you need to add a minimum of 3 styles. Okay, I'm going to scroll all the way up and then let's look at the previous styles provided here. Okay, so you just need to pick out 3 styles from the specification sheet here. Okay, honestly speaking, there's no really right or wrong, so as long as it makes sense, then it's fine. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I am going to use the title for the company title, and I'm gonna use the body text here for 10 points and a 1.5 line spacing for the text inside the message, and then perhaps I will use a subheading for the name. Okay, so I'm going to scroll all the way down here. Let's see what needs to be done. Star cars, right? Okay. Right, so here's what's going to happen. I am going to double click here, put in the header. I'm going to put star cars. Why? Because this is like a letterhead. Okay, and then I'll apply sans serif 24 points center align. So sans serif, I'm going to choose Arial 24 points, and then I'm going to center align. So that's one. Oops, star space cars, my bad. Space cars. And then I'm going to apply the body text to it. 1.5 line spacing to the rest of the document here. So paragraph. And then 1.5 line spacing. Okay, and then for this one, I'm going to apply the subheading listed here. So sans serif 12 points, single line spacing, one clear line space after 12 points. 12 points. Alright, so I have more than, I have 3 styles here with me already. Okay, oops, I left one out, country. I need to replace this as a merge field as well. So I'm going to go here, mailings, select country. I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to apply the same format as I applied to their first name here. Alright, there you go. So I'm going to continue with the questions. Right, 31. Letters are only required for distributors in Spain and Germany. Merge the letter to only distributors in Spain and Germany and provide screenshot evidence of the selection method you used. Right, so I'm going to open this, and I'm only going to select Spain and Germany for the recipient list. Okay, so I'm going to select this, edit recipient list, and I'm only going to select Spain and Germany, which is these two. So they need screenshot evidence of this. So I'm going to go to take a screenshot, print screen, and open my evidence document. Scroll, mail merge, selection letters to merge. Right, I think I missed out the evidence for 29 and 30, but there's no instructions here. But anyway, right, because if you look here, it actually wants you to take a screenshot of the master document with fields, right? So I'm gonna just go here and I'm just gonna take a screenshot of this. Okay, master document with the fields here, right? So in screen, I'm gonna paste it here. And then house style features added to mail merge master document. Right, so I'll just take a screenshot of this. 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 And then the last one, just this. Paragraph. Alright, done. So merge the letters to only the distributors and provide screenshot evidence of selection. Okay, alright. So print the merge letter. So what's going to happen is I'm going to merge the letters first. Alright, so in mailings here, I'm going to go to finish and merge, and then I will say edit individual documents to see the results. So what's going to happen is it will actually generate two documents, one to Germany and another one to Spain. Alright, so once I'm done with this, I can just print it out. Print. Okay. Now finally, moving on to task number 6, presentation. You're going to create the start of a short presentation using appropriate styles. So using the content of file p2press.rtf, create a new presentation. Make sure that there are only 4 slides, each containing a title and some text. The presentation must have a title slide. Okay, so let's open PowerPoint. And what's supposed to happen here is that you need to import the outlines into the presentation. So I'm going to new slide, slides from outline here. We're going to select P2 press. There you go. So you will have 4 slides imported. So I'm going to remove the first one, which is empty. Okay, so each slide in the presentation must have appropriate style and layout. 3 features you propose for the mail merge letter master document. Your name, center number, heading number clearly visible in a 16-point sans serif font, left aligned in the bottom left corner. So I'm going to work on what's supposed to be printed out first. Okay, so the presentation must have a title slide as well. So I'm going to change this layout to a title slide instead. Okay, so after that I'm going to work on the my name, center number, and candidate number. So what I like to do is I like to go to footer here, and I'm just going to key in the information that's needed. Name, center number, candidate number. And I'm going to apply to all. I don't care where this footer will appear for now, right? So I'm just going to apply it to all. And then slide number in the bottom right corner. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Slide number, apply to all. Then and only then do I go to the slide master, scroll all the way up to the top, and then left align in the bottom left corner. So I'm just going to swap this. I'm going to click this. I'm going to align it to the left, and then I'm going to move it so that it is over here. Alright, the page number has been taken care of, so I don't need to do anything with it. Okay, so I'm going to exit the slide master, and I'm going to go to the print preview to check it out. So if you notice here, you will notice that the name, center number, candidate number, as well as the page number, the slide number actually appears on every single page. Okay, so just to be sure, I'm going to go to the print preview to check it out. Okay, looks good, no problem. So going back here, now it says I need to specify which house style I actually used for my mail merge document, right? So the first feature, I actually made use of the let's see here, the title. Title for company name. So describe the feature. I applied the title style sans serif, 24 points, center aligned. Why I chose this feature? So that it appears as a company letterhead and company letter, which is clear to the user. Right? It doesn't matter which style you use, as long as you give an explanation that is acceptable, that's fine. Okay, so the second one that I used was I actually used the subheading feature. Subheading for recipient name. Oops. Bad grammar. Okay, describe the feature. I applied the subheading feature. Oops. Sans serif. Points, single line spacing to that of the recipient name. Why I chose this feature? So that the recipient name is more prominent and easily identifiable. Wow. There you go. So the third one, body text for content of letter. I applied the body text style to the serif, 10 points, 1.5 line spacing, and fully justified to the content of the letter. So that I apply this feature so that the content is neat and legible. There you go. Scroll all the way down. So on all slides, make sure that no object overlap any of the other objects on the slide or any of the slide master item. No problem. Save the presentation using a new file name. Print the slides with one slide on each page. I'm just going to save it using a new name. Print the slides with one slide on each page, so I'm just very simple, one slide on each page. You just need to print. So full page slides, 4 pages, 4 slides will be printed out. And then once I'm done with that, I just need to print my evidence document. Alright, we are done with the paper.